This week, I'm flying solo because I wanted to discuss recent changes to curriculum here in Ontario as announced by Minister of Education Stephen Lecce and how it impacts the skilled trades as a whole. So, let's talk about it. As mentioned, I'm flying solo this week. So, we're going to throw it back to one of the original Cooking with Nick approaches to this video, where I make one of my world famous sheet metal worker recipes. And as we're talking about recent changes to curriculum, I thought this week's meal will focus on a special creation for Minister of Education Stephen Lecce, and that will be a Dolce de Stephen Lecce cheesecake. So let's get into it. Cream cheese. We're going to fluff this up first. Now that our cream cheese is fluffed, it's time to put the rest of the ingredients in. We got sugar, salt, vanilla extract, sour cream, Dolce de leche. We're going to mix that up again. The two changes that were recently announced were a mandatory tech credit that needs to be completed prior to the end of grade 10 starting in 2024, and entering into an apprenticeship as early as grade 11, and being able to obtain their OSSD by meeting certain conditions. Neither of these are necessarily revolutionary ideas. There are places around the world that allow students to enter into an apprenticeship as early as 16 years old as it is. In fact, most of Europe does it. The fact that our government is finally recognizing that students do learn differently, and some students do want to exit high school a little bit earlier while still obtaining an education is call for celebration. The fact that we're introducing a mandatory tech credit by the completion of grade 10 should have been a no-brainer long ago. But for whatever reason, we're finally getting around to it. So that's a huge win in itself right there. The next step to this Dolce de Stephen Lecce cheesecake is adding the eggs one at a time and then mixing them in. Listen, we've had a hell of a few years with the work that Monty McNaughton does as Minister of Labor to really bring pride back to the skilled trades and to help solve this labor shortage that we're trying to tackle. Along with the unveiling of the new Skilled Trades Ontario agency and the work that Skills Ontario is doing, as well as countless other trades organizations that are popping up trying to recruit young people to the skilled trades, it's been quite a ride, and it's about time education fell in line with that. Now, these recent announcements have been met with critics who suggest that we're robbing students of an education by forcing them into the skilled trades. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Skilled trades is an education. Listen, I get it. If you've never worked in a skilled trade, you don't quite understand. I was an honor student in high school. And I knew, exiting high school, I didn't want to work in an office. I didn't want to pursue a business degree. I won entrepreneurial studies awards. I could have went that route, but I wanted to work with my hands. I wanted to display my creativity. I wanted the freedom to choose what I wanted in terms of work, experience, travel, and everything else in between. And that's what you get with a skilled trade. What I think a lot of people don't recognize, though, that in a skilled trade, you are exposed to mathematics on a much higher level than you are exposed to in high school. I took advanced mathematics, and I regularly apply those methods, formulas, and practices on a day-to-day level. You're exposed to much more technology than you would be while in high school. It's what the industry runs on today. The amount of science in the skilled trade is evident across everything that you do while working in it. It's hard to explain unless you've actually been in that trade, but we apply many of the concepts that you're taught in high school. And the reality is, by starting an apprenticeship as early as grade 11, young students that are successful in a skilled trade will be theoretically licensed by 21 or 22 years old, making upwards of $120,000 a year based on the career that they choose. You can't tell me that very many people are making that kind of money at 22 years old. And this allows the financial freedom and flexibility to reassess their path in life if they're unhappy. Maybe they complete their apprenticeship and they decide they want more. They can always upgrade. They can take night classes, remote learning. They can obtain extra credits. It's all there, but with the power and the knowledge and the freedom to make those decisions at 22 years old. I get extremely frustrated when people think that students entering a trade are going to be missing out on something in life or that they're on a dead-end career path. It's insulting. I've had countless opportunities throughout my life. I went back to Fanshawe and obtained a health and safety certificate. I've went back for a gas fitting course. I started a refrigeration apprenticeship. And tomorrow, if I decide that I want to go back for something else, if I want to apply to university, I have those options. And in terms of the mandatory tech credit, I think it's going to be beneficial on so many different levels. It will expose young people to these opportunities at a much earlier age. New curriculum will help educate not only students, but parents and educators as to how lucrative and rewarding these careers are. Listen, if you've ever watched any of my videos, you know that I talk about stereotypes and stigmas quite often. And I think these changes will do a lot to change a lot of the perception around the skilled trades as a whole. We don't get everything right when it comes to education in this province. I think that's well documented. But when it comes to skilled trades, Lecce has done a hell of a job. Skilled trades won't be for everyone. That's a given. But at least what we're doing in this province now is we are equipping young people with the knowledge and the power and the understanding of what is out there. We are allowing young people to make informed decisions about their future. So many people get it twisted that we're attacking a university by saying university isn't the only route to success. I'm not sure why people jump to that conclusion. What we are doing in this province is telling young people there are many routes to success, and obtaining a skilled trade is definitely one of them. As a young parent, I don't know how you sit back and look at your child's future when helping them plan and tell them making anywhere between $80 to $120 to $150,000 working a skilled trade is a bad idea. And like I tell every young person entering the trades that I come across, always pursue continuing education. You don't want to be 35 years old one day and realize this isn't where I want to end my career. Always have to have a contingency plan in place. The education never stops while you're working a skilled trade. These aren't careers for dropouts, for people that can't pass high school, for people out down on their luck. Sure, in the past, that was the perception about people in skilled trades, and some of that was true. We'd be idiots to sit here and say that that's not the truth. There have been a lot of people working in the trades over the years that fit that stereotype that is out there, and that's why there's that stereotype. But trades have evolved quite a bit in the last 10, 20 years. You're seeing more women enter the trades. You're seeing many, many more young people at an earlier age start their own businesses and become extremely successful. Health and safety now, as compared to say 20, 30 years ago, is completely different. And again, the point that I try to drive home to everybody that I talk to is the financial flexibility that comes with a trade. It really is life-changing. And when we're talking about giving young people in this province an opportunity to stand on their own 2 feet, you can't beat a skilled trade. So what we have here is my pie crust that I've already set in my springform pan. The filling is set and ready to go in. Now it's ready to go in the oven. Here is the end result of my Dolce de Stephen Lecce cheesecake. I would say it turned out pretty dang good. Now to give this sucker a try. Oh! That might be my best cheesecake yet. I'm excited for the next couple of years here in Ontario with all the changes to curriculum and the focus on skilled trades. I'm excited to see what other announcements Minister Lecce has coming out in terms of education, curriculum, apprenticeship. I think we're in good hands here in Ontario. I think allowing young people to pursue an apprenticeship at an earlier age opens up a lot more doors for them moving forward rather than the traditional ways of going to high school, if that's the route they choose. And I think we're about to open a lot of eyes by introducing this mandatory tech credit by grade 10. Careers and opportunities that young people may not have known that were out there or that they could be suited for will now be presented to them. I sometimes think that we underestimate young people and their ability to make sound decisions. So, Minister Lecce, I think you're doing a phenomenal job. I'm enjoying your cheesecake that I dedicated to you. There's always an open invite if you would like to stop by the Netflix and School studio so we can have an interview. Maybe I'll make you one of these for your visit. And until then, friends, remember, start hungry, stay handy. I'll catch you in the next one.